Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
Baka.
So guys, how's it going?
Good. I'm sore, but other than that, I'm fine.
Oh.
Lots of remodeling the downstairs stuff. What do you got? You got to move this out of the way in order to paint this area. Fucking moving stuff out of the way. I should just paint around furniture. Just paint around it.
Just don't ever move your furniture, and you're perfectly fine.
Nobody would know. Look
Or
like
save
a
the
piece.
paint so that when you do move it, you can just paint it then.
No, just don't ever move it. Paint once. That's it.
This
Just
lives
don't-
here
don't-
now.
God.
Exactly.
God.
Glue it to the wall if you have to.
Or just like get a bunch of small controlled explosives and cover your furniture and whatever in plastic, and then just keep setting off charges to like make paint splatter everywhere. So it's fun and gets the job done.
I swear I saw a
Mostly.
SpongeBob episode that had something similar with that, except it was a giant bubble.
Mythbusters did something like that too.
Well, what games has everybody been playing this week?
I played Zero.
Teamfight Tactics, Overwatch, and I think it's really been about it. Because I finished Grand Theft Auto, and I don't want to go through it again because I'm waiting on WoW. So I've been researching WoW Classic, and I've thought of like 20 different names in case any of them are taken by the time I get a reserve names.
Yeah, because you can
So
only
that
reserve
way-
3, so pick your favorite 3.
The first one I'm going to shoot for though is Ash.
Oh my
so
God,
so
you're
that
not
way
gonna
I can have a pet named Bob.
Get in there, babe.
Get in there, bam!
Or Chicken just can call his tank Bob, and I can just yell that out every time he charges.
Bob.
Now,
I
did I
think
just
that
stand
would be more
still?
fun.
You better hope you don't ever pull aggro, because I'm just going to stand there. You have to bring it to me so that I can attack
I can
it.
do that, or I can just feign death.
Or he'd be like actual Bob, where he charges into a corner and then just stands there because he's not in the right place.
I can use my gun and shoot people very slowly.
No.
Bang! Bang! Okay.
Do I have aggro yet? No.
No.
As
you're
you
gonna have
can
to wait a little
tell,
while.
our group for WoW Classic is going to be full of memes and stupid things. Amazing. Come read with us.
I'm excited.
Uh,
I can't.
it's a
contain
month away.
There
Okay?
we go. There's
It's
another,
less than a
another
month
name, Brett.
away.
By one day.
May.
Yes.
No. Fuck.
I've been counting this down for like several years. We are down to less than a month now.
He's 29
I'm
days.
surprised he doesn't have one of those counter things on his phone that will tell him like to the minute that the servers are supposed to open.
Oh, I could just go to the WoW website and do that. And they've got it on their website too. It's like counting down the moments until it's released.
What have you been playing this week, Chicken? Probably the same stuff for the most part. Oh,
Yeah.
the Tomb Raider.
Oh wow, yeah. Just
Because
take
you
it
broke
from
yourself
me.
out of the map. I just remembered you showed me that yesterday. Chicken broke the game.
Yes. So I played Overwatch, of course, and some League, and then I've put all of my like spare time that I have into playing Tomb Raider. I finished the first one. It was just pretty good, about what you would expect for a reboot game. And then I started the second one. Man, the AI just did not upgrade. They're still just as dumb as they were in the original one. They jump into the fight scenario, and then you blow them away, and then you just walk around and loot them. It's honestly just more about the environment. It's more you versus the environment rather than you versus the AI, because they just come, die, and you loot them, and that's it. There's a lot more crafting in this one. Like, they took a lot of the simplistic stuff and made it more complicated. Like, you've got I guess you have different outfits that you can wear. I'm wearing like a commando outfit, and she's got a tank top on, and she's in the fucking Siberian mountain range. It's absolutely freezing,
like,
and
"I'm
she's
not
perfectly
cold."
fine. She's like, I'm good, no worries.
I don't
Like,
need a jacket.
okay.
Yeah, it's just it's just for looks is all that is.
Yeah, apparently. I don't understand the whole like there are gas cans and whatnot that you can pick up and then make stuff and craft out of them and then use them as weapons, but I've never had the need for that. They usually jump in. I either kill them with my bow or mow them down with the machine gun. That's
Are you
it.
playing
Like,
on easy?
No, I'm playing on normal.
You need to upgrade one. That's
I think I have to, because it is so it is so easy. It is.
Yeah, you need to upgrade one, because basically you're playing Tomb Raider games the same way that you play Uncharted games. Those games are based on the fact that it's not the amount or not the fact that the AI itself is difficult. It's how many there are, because a lot of times you'll deal with a shit ton of them. But the other thing is you're dealing with the plot line. You got to pay attention to the plot line. Is the reason you're playing the game. I like
the story for sure. Like that's
that's
what's
it's the adventure that's there. But it's like
yes,
to me it's the same thing. Yeah, it's not about that. It's about the adventure and everything goes along.
Exactly, and there's a lot of emphasis on that too, because the enemies are not difficult. The whole adventure part is fun, and it's figuring out the puzzles and climbing and doing all of that stuff. Like that's the fun part. Whenever the enemies show up, it's like cleanup duty again. Let me get the broom out. Go ahead and sweep these guys away. It really is just like that. But I did break the map. Because I play it fast, so during the ice pick climb things, I jump and then grab and jump and grab and just fly up it. I did that in one part, and I grabbed the wall, and then I jumped, except I jumped on a side angle, and I caught the part of the wall that you're not supposed to grab, and she climbed into the fucking wall and fell behind it, and I was like,
it's
hello?
Orange back there, actually.
Where am I? And they're like, all the rocks that are on the outside have backsides to them, so I was just climbing around the outside of the map, and then she decided, this seems nice, I'm going to walk through this wall, and walks through the wall back into the map. I was like, wow, okay, interesting.
I'm wondering if it makes me want to now go through the people that do the speed runs, if that's one section that's one of the things you have to do in order to be able to get to the next section.
If that'll get you through the wall, you might be able to use it in more than one place.
Because I know there's one where you can do like a backflip, because I watched a girl do the turn, I think it was the first Tomb Raider, and she does a backflip off of a certain area, and then she flips off, and you're in the air just flipping like this the whole time.
Whee! It's like that one thing in Saints Row, the fraud thing. Yeah.
It reminds me of the old Donkey Kong where you could roll, and you could just roll through the air and fly across the map.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I'm about a third of the way through that one. The story I'm enjoying. Like, everything else other than the combat part is pretty fun. They have a lot more crafting stuff, like I said, but I paid attention pretty hard in the first couple of zones to collect everything, and then I just kind of stopped. And I'm just moving through it.
Yeah, I
story.
didn't really collect that stuff that was on there, because
yeah.
I think the hardest. Is it the wolves or whatever? I think they're more difficult than the people are.
Yes, the wolves are because they'll zigzag, and then once they get close to you, they'll just start fucking bouncing back and forth. And it's like I tried with the bow for a little while, and then I said fuck it. I just got the pistol out and just started capping them. I was like, fuck it, guys, just stop moving.
That's terrible.
The bear was a little difficult, but all you got to do, like if you could do the dodge and shoot him in the face a couple of times, and you're good to go.
Yeah, see, the bear was... Because the bear's not far in there, and then you meet him again later, I think. But I'm not 100% on that one.
Oh, yeah, you deal with him twice. The first time is a cinematic event. It's basically the tutorial. The first time is a cinematic one, and then you fight him as a boss.
Yeah.
He wasn't that big of a deal either. The combat in that game is not very punishing or hard, which is fine. They took it more of a Far Cry route instead of an Uncharted route in this one, where you got more crafting and upgrades and things like that on it, so... I'm interested to see where they go in the third one, because I once I finish this one, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to play the third one without spending $60 on it.
I spent like 20.
I
think I spent 20 on it on one of the sales.
That's
so just put it on your list and wait for the
closer to Christmas. When your hype for WoW has died down a little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, because I've not played the last one, and you're coming up on a year since it was released, so
awesome. Yeah, so yeah. I'm gonna finish this one and then put the third one on my list to play. It's been fun so far.
You can put it on your gameplay. I might come in sooner
true.
that way.
That's actually very true. I could do that. Well, I'd rather play it on PC. It's fun to multitask with PC. Better. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, the 2013 one looked okay. The 2015 one looks better. For sure. You can see a nice graphical improvement. I can't wait to see what they do into the third one. So that's all I've played. It's been a simple week.
I've played some more Devil May Cry. I finally got to a point where, like, usually in DMC games, if there's more than just Dante hanging around, you'll play through any of the characters that look like they might be playable. Any character that you see that has special moves, you're probably going to play as at some point. And I finally got to the point where it let me play as Dante in this one. Which is kind of weird, because usually in Devil May Cry, that's just a given. But it took a while to get there. Dante's awesome. That's probably why you didn't get to start with him, though. Because he's just too strong. He's just too good. Oh, man, I love Dante. And I have no idea how long this game is, so I don't know how close I am to the end of it. But there's still a lot of questions.
How many hours do you think you have into it?
Not a whole lot, probably.
I
played last Saturday and the morning.
8 to 10.
Maybe, yeah. Probably.
8 to 10.
If it's anything like the other, she still might have a bit to go.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
like
sure
we've got
she
a lot of
does.
questions to answer still, which probably is going to take a little bit. So, I don't know. I ran into one of the same issues as Ollie did, where there's 3 playable characters so far in this one. It's been Nero, he was in DMC4, so you know who that is, and Dante, why are you playing the series if you don't know who he is, and V is a new character. He's like a ranged character, and it is so much easier to accomplish things with him, for me, than it is with, like, Nero. Because with him, he's got a bird and a panther thing that go out and fight, and the panther's gonna be your, like, basically your melee attack, and the bird is your ranged attack. And then you can call in Nightmare, which is your Devil Trigger attack, essentially. And that's just way easier. Like, it's just way easier to not have to be right in the fray with it. I'm having trouble getting style points with Nero, but with V, it's, like, savage. It's so great.
Constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so
savage.
much easier to deal with it. And I think it's because I've gotten to a point where I prefer ranged characters a lot, because I can see the battlefield better and make better tactical choices that way, instead of being right in the thick of it. I mean, not that that's not fun. Playing as Dante, like, that's just the thing, but yeah. But it's been fun so far. I'd like to eventually own this on PC, though, because I think that it looks good on Xbox One, which is where I'm playing it, but I think it would look better on PC. Probably a little smoother. It's had like 1 or 2 places where it stuttered a little bit, and it just seems like it's because the Xbox is struggling a little bit. But I'm also using, like, the first-gen Xbox One, so it's not...
I would be interested to see what an Xbox One X version of it would look like, if that same
Probably
stutter is there or not.
Yeah, it probably would be
good
better,
upgrade.
but I just can't justify throwing that kind of money down on it when I don't use my Xbox as much as I used to, because everything's on PC. That's what I've been doing. And Overwatch. Lots and lots of Overwatch with everybody, because it's the event still. Bought the nice Hanzo skin, because I was tired of waiting on it. Now I just need to pick up the McCree skin and maybe that Torbjorn skin, and I'll be good to go.
Hell yeah.
We have 1 week left.
That's good.
Hell yeah. I will say, on the Overwatch topic, Overwatch League started with the 222 lock. Oh my
It's
god.
nice to see
it is
DPS
so
in that.
much better to watch. You actually get to watch people play damage dealers and do damage and outplay one another. It's a lot more interesting to watch these rumbles kind of go back and forth instead of just snowballs into each other until something happens.
Yeah.
So,
I think it'll make it better overall. I think it just
Absolutely.
made sense to do it that way.
Well, it was the
Yes.
only way that you were gonna, one, add entertainment value to what you're watching, because just watching 2 health pools crash on each other is not cool. And 2, it's the only way that you're gonna make a whole section of heroes viable again. So, I mean...
yes, and now they can balance those DPS heroes specifically for themselves.
Yes.
Rather than for the meta and whatnot. And everybody is so excited for it to come out. It comes out September 1st
I am
for
so
everybody
ready.
on Live.
I'm so
Me
ready
too.
to be able to queue up and be like, I will be playing support or tank this round. You know, or whatever.
And all MMR is allocated to each role. So it's not just overall MMR. It's your tank MMR, your DPS MMR, and your support MMR.
Yeah.
So that's nice too.
And there was a piece of Overwatch related news. We saw the new hero this week. He's on the PTR. His name is Sigma. He's a tank. He's crazy. And people seem to really be upset because he doesn't wear shoes. I don't know why
Oh,
that's
what?
a big deal. But
He's an
people are like,
eccentric
feet!
astrophysicist.
His feet! He doesn't have weird feet. It's just feet.
Well, it's because he's got this full...
them sexy toes.
Oh no!
Hey, now. It's because he has full fucking body armor all the way down to his ankles, and then his feet are just bare.
Well, it's okay,
because
he's a
floats.
crazy person and he floats. He doesn't need them. I wouldn't wear shoes if I didn't have to. Just saying.
I would. Somebody shoot you in the toe.
Oh no, pranky toe.
Well, what is the shoe gonna stop if they shoot you?
Yeah.
Depends if you have metal toe shoes.
I mean, yeah, if he's got the armor and the boots match that, whatever.
Maybe he was in a pinch. I mean, maybe he still stole the armor and did get a chance to get the shoes on.
Or maybe the shoes didn't fit the guy that.
I love how people complain about stuff like that too, though. It's like you're talking about a completely fictionalized game, and like everyone has these weird abilities of some sort. You've got a one that's a big gorilla, and you're worried about. The guy doesn't have shoes on. Obviously, he's not as powerful as we thought he was.
I want to know why we're upset about the fact that Sigma's not wearing shoes, but nobody's upset about the disturbing belly button that Roadhog has.
Right?
It's creepy.
Right?
I mean, you're like 2 years removed from that when it was on there. There people probably complained about the belly button.
What's wrong with his belly button?
It's weird. I don't like it.
It's an Audi, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an Audi.
Yeah, but okay, it's because
nose.
like half the time you see it on the highlight screens, it's because people are wearing the Christmas one, and it's a red glowing belly button. It's weird, okay? It's weird. But Sigma's
it lights the way.
No, Sigma's a hero or a tank that uses gravity for all of his stuff. I haven't gotten to play him yet. Red and Ollie have both tried him out on the PTR, which is where he's still at. So that means he'll probably be coming to full release in a couple weeks.
September 1st.
September 1st? Oh, you had a date?
I
okay,
bet
cool.
money. No, it's not a date, but I bet money because they're going to release the 222, Sigma, and all the buffs and whatnot all on that date.
Oh, you think it'll be everything?
Yeah, I think it'll be everything.
That's going to be a little while, though. Like, that's a whole month.
It's a month.
Exactly. I'm wondering, though, if they would release Sigma before Classic, so that people who are going to go play Classic could try them out before having to swap games and gears.
Well, the thing is, as long as Blizzard has you in one of their games, doesn't matter.
I guess that's true. Sigma looks cool, though. I'm looking forward to testing him out when he hits full launch, to see how that is. We had talked about Moira getting a way to get out of stuns, that they were playtesting on the PTR. They've decided not to do that. So, just pretend that never happened.
And I will post it in the gaming subreddit, but there was a letter to McCree's from Moira's, and it was basically Moira shit-talking McCree like a sumbitch. Basically, oh my god, after this you're never going to be able to beat me, cowboy. You're in trouble now. Yours truly, Moira. And then they took it away, and somebody made a reply to it. I'm just gonna have to link it.
It's like you have to watch this. Turn the sound on your phone. I was like, oh god. Anytime somebody says you need to see this, turn the sound on. It's gonna be something ridiculous, probably.
I will go ahead and find it so that I can post it because it just made me die. Griff didn't find it as funny, but I did.
I didn't have. He thought that I was like on the side of Moira needing that ability. I thought that was gonna be stupid.
I definitely knew you were not on the side that you needed that shit.
Well, okay. So Sigma's on the way. And yes. Moira doesn't get out of stuns. Sorry, everybody. I was looking forward to that.
Maybe because it may make Moira OP as shit.
It would just negate too many abilities, I feel like.
It gives you a fucking 6-second window where you have to kill her or she's unkillable.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
6-second window, and that's it. Because if you stun her, she gets out of it. She's gone. She can heal her whole team while they're stunned. And then if you try to attack her, she has 6 seconds to avoid you, and then she could disappear again. That's way too elusive. Like, you can have her be elusive, but you got to be able to have a way to lock her down to pop her. But... So that was. I'm glad they took it away. I was pretty confident that they would.
Oh, you were correct.
Thankfully, whew, I'd hate to live in a world in which she was able to get out of stuns.
Well, what else do we got? That was our tie-in from the
Nothing.
previous
That's
thing.
it.
And then, like, nothing else is really related super well.
Yeah.
At all.
It's just a bunch of stuff all
Just
over
jump
the
to the
place.
Nintendo stuff. There's 2 Nintendo-related things and then something that's not related to either one of those. So...
We start off with Doom, which,
Doom.
you know, I'm a big fan of the Doom series. Have been since, what is it, 96, I think was the first Doom came out, 95, something like that.
It's been a minute.
Yep. Has finally made its way to the Switch. You got 1, 2, and 3 that have made it to the Switch. Of course, we already had 2015's version of Doom.
1993.
1993. There we go. I'm even older than
Damn.
that. Great.
Oh no, I just got
I
over
remember the
it.
shareware version of that and everything. But Doom 1, Doom 2, and Doom 3 have made it over to the Switch, which is pretty awesome. Except for one thing, which is they made it to where you had to have a Bethesda account and sign into that on the Nintendo Switch in order to be able to play the games, which they're now working on a way around that. Because it was only meant for people that were part of their Slayers Club to be able to get the points and stuff from it to be able to play it, but it actually made it where you couldn't play the
plastered
game
it
otherwise.
across the board. Like, connect to the internet, log into your Bethesda account. Boop.
And I'm not
no.
entirely sure why you had to sign in for Doom 3, because you have to sign in to your Bethesda account on Doom 3 so that you could play offline.
That one's weird. But it says that it
Like-
should be. It was supposed to be optional, and it wasn't. For some
Yeah.
reason, it was
I think they're
enforcing
fixing
it. Yes,
The
they're
amount of
working on
memes
it.
that popped up from that, like, I don't know why, but I saw, like, all over Twitter, it's like, in order to read this article, you must sign into your Bethesda account. And I was like, what kind of article is this? In order to buy your food, you need to sign into your Bethesda account. It's like,
Right?
did Bethesda open up a restaurant?
Yes.
That would be interesting. You got to take your phone, sign into the fucking restaurant panel so that you can go into the Bethesda building.
But then all you have to do is if you know what you're doing when it comes to like coding and stuff, then you just build an app for that, and then you're done, right?
Oh my goodness!
It's already
the
got it in
world's
there.
changing too fast.
In order to enter this restaurant, you have to, ding.
Be interesting.
Go on in. I think it's funny because it's like Bethesda can't catch a break for shit.
No, they cannot.
It's like, oh look, we got this, and oh, there goes that again.
It's two steps forward, one step back.
So, I love that. That's what came out of QuakeCon. That was it. That's all we got out of it.
Yeah, apparently there was nothing else that interesting there.
Which is sad because I think they were showing a lot of footage from some of the stuff that they were doing, but that was the only thing anybody cared about. Memes rule the world now. That's what we have.
Yes. Don't let your memes be dreams, kids.
But that's all I have.
Don't let your memes be dreams. Dream the meme world. In other news, a new Fire Emblem came out this week. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I think it was this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. And apparently they're going to have the main character, I guess, or the male protagonist, have him completely revoiced because of sexual assault allegations.
People stop being stupid, please. Why is this so difficult?
I will say that this stuff is from the past and whatnot, and it was brought up again, and he wrote an apology for it, and Nintendo is like, okay, admitting guilt, we're gonna have to remove you from the game. People just stop being dumb, please.
Well, here's the thing.
They can't.
People are going to be dumb, and people will grow from their dumbness. If they've grown from that, that's one thing. But now, if he's just now being brought up, if this is the case where it's just now being brought up after all these years, that's one thing. But if he'd already handled it back in the well, but I mean, if he handled it back in the day, let's say it happened 18 years ago, 20 years ago, and handled it back in the day, it shouldn't affect what the person does now because they're a different person now. When you're 20-something years old and you're 40-something years old, your opinions have changed, your mentality has changed. You know, it's just the way it is. We all grow, and it's just like in this particular case, I get it because you could do.
Don't.
Yeah, some people don't change.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole thing. Is if you turned around and go, this is the only thing he's had in the last however many years it's been, and he was addressed the first time, and he hadn't done anything since, and nobody's coming out about it, then that's when you have to kind of look at it and say from that standpoint. But this cancel culture is driving me insane about certain things, and like could be completely legit. But I hate it when somebody's like, oh, look, you know, I said bad things when I was 18-year-old in high school, and the person's 65, and they're like, oh, they're an evil person. They've done good for the rest of their lives, but one thing they did before they, you know, were educated enough to do something smart, you know, ends up hurting them in the long run. I can't stand that shit. Because we all have, you know, we all have baggages and issues. Yeah, we all have, you know, shit that we did when we were younger that we're like, God, I was stupid. What the hell?
But I wonder when, because I haven't looked up a whole bunch of stuff about this, and I just wonder when this stuff went down that he's apologizing for, because he just apologized for it. Like,
see, that's why I'm thinking that it's something. That's what I'm saying. I think it's something that happened in the past that never
he apologized years ago, and now it's being brought up again because it was a personal thing versus a global thing now. Like now, like
I
the cancel culture
it's weird because it says he issued a statement and titled it "It's time that I apologize to all the people I've hurt."
If you read down into the comments, they have a lot more details. This guy had done this and apologized for this years ago. This ain't a recent controversy, with it only now getting blown out of proportion due to social media's outrage culture. It's funny that people are pointing this shit out, but failing to mention his apology that he wrote again years ago. For fuck's sake, people, stop causing a fuss, getting people fired, and ruining careers. The social media culture is disgusting. How would you like it if you got criticized for something you wouldn't dream of doing, saying nowadays, because you were still growing up, not thinking at the time, got taken out of context, or said something as a joke? This guy is what? In his early 30s, late 20s. People change and learn from their mistakes. This is a mistake he apologized for now at least twice, and he has surely learned from past incidents.
Well, okay, and beyond that, to be fair, one of the other comments pointed out he also broke an NDA on the game, so Nintendo would have replaced him
that's
regardless.
a whole different that's a whole different monster right there. You break NDAs, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It was probably he broke that, and then somebody was like, oh my god, did you know this guy is a sexual predator too? And then started a whole fucking outrage campaign against him.
Right.
Can we just be outraged over people being outraged at this point?
Oh yeah, there are people that do that too.
That's kind of where it's going.
Oh yeah, there are already people that do that. It's a very interesting world we live in. Oh, but yeah, that's that going around. So they're gonna have to revoice the main protagonist. From what one of the comments said is he doesn't have very many lines, so it should be pretty easy on Nintendo.
All right.
Okay, so we've got one more thing to discuss. Good news day.
This one's going to be interesting.
This will be Grif's favorite.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about this, because I think that you're all wrong, because Chicken was wrong in his assumption on this one about me too, like about my opinion on it. So go ahead.
Okay. Basically, a Fortnite player has taken second place at the World Cup duos using a controller. The first place people, of course, everything was on PC, evidently. But the first place people were doing mouse and keyboard, which is usually traditional for a tournament like that. And second place, one of the people that was part of that duo was
Both
using a controller.
Actually used controllers.
No, according to the article, it was not that.
Was it not both of them?
It said one was using a mouse and keyboard. It says, but perhaps more surprising is the couple who came in second place, Rojo, 15-year-old John Wolves Ashman. The latter was actually a UK player competing with a controller. So the other one was not.
So just one controller.
Just one controller. And so here, the controversy that goes along with this is, one, it does look really good for controller players, but the auto aim feature was still on. Aim assist.
They specifically turned it on for the competition.
The controller players. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It is according to Epic. it is actually, if you are playing against other people online, it is also set that way as well. So every time everybody plays on Fortnite, no matter if you're using a controller, if you're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, if you're using a controller, then aim assist is always on. And Epic states on there that we set the parameters for the tournament the same as if they were playing online normally. So if that's the case, and the kid claims to be one of the best in the world on a controller anyway, which, I mean, who's not going to do that if they've just become second in the world on a controller? So it is one of those factors of where do we stand on this? Because if you look at it, if this is what would normally be, like, this is the norm for the game. So it's not like, hey, aim assist is never on for this game ever, even when you're normally playing online and you're playing against people that are playing controllers. Is it wrong if you're setting that straight up? Because this person's always used to playing with an aim assist when they're playing. And all they're doing is going into a competition with what they're used to, and they set those same parameters up.
Personally, I look at Overwatch.
Okay.
I do not foresee any extremely good controller players being able to make it to the Overwatch League, because Blizzard will not let you have aim assist on in professional league if you play with a controller and whatnot. You're just at your bare bones skill. You have to make use with what tools you got, like Grif has to play. I mean, she plays on PC with the controller, and she does not get the benefits of aim assist or anything like that. She gets thrown into the dirty,
right,
and she has to make...
Well, but again, that goes back to what I said. Epic says that according to the way that their system is set up, it always has the aim assist on if you have a controller.
Yeah, and I don't think you should have a handicap.
Where Overwatch is the other way around.
I don't think you should have a handicap to try to balance the playing fields between, because it's two different monsters. You're giving one side an incredibly powerful tool just to try to give them balance, because anybody who's played GTA or Red Dead Redemption, you guys know how easy it is to aim at things, because you do the left trigger spam when you're aiming at an enemy, and that is what it is. That's what aim assist is in Fortnite. That's why people will just spam. That's why it's called L2 spam. They'll just, if they see you in any direction, they'll just start spamming it until they lock onto you.
And apparently it'll lock on even if an enemy can't be seen.
Even if they can't see you. So, I mean, they can see you through walls and fucking spam lock you until they get a shot.
Well, but that sounds like a mechanical issue anyway that they need to fix. But I mean, from an aim assist standpoint, it's again, I go back to the fact, I understand it if this is one of those where, it was every time that a PC player pops into the game, they're never playing against a controller person ever, and aim assist is never an option for them. But every time they're playing the game, they're playing against people that are playing with aim assist always. So the element of the game is exactly the same as it's always been since a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years now, when the game first came out. That element's never changed.
That's why if you want a highly competitive market, you're going to have to divide that market. You got to let the crazy fucking good people.
Why? Because people on keyboard and mouse don't like the fact that a person on controller got up to that high.
Yeah, because
look at everybody else.
Aim assist is stupid, and the fact that you have to be completely on merit and on skill if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard versus somebody who's got an auto lock because they're playing with a controller. Those two should be.
Did they get first place? Did they get first place?
No, they didn't.
No,
I mean,
they got beat.
Even during the competition, while it was being streamed, the directors wouldn't even go to his screen because they know how bad it looked, because it honestly looked like he was cheating with an aimbot. That's why they wouldn't show it from his perspective. I mean, that's pretty awful when your company even knows that it looks bad.
Well, but again, that's an Epic flaw. And
absolutely.
But the thing is, that's not the kid's fault. For the fact the game is fucking set up that way.
No, it's definitely another example of Epic trying to jump in and force their way into a market that they don't understand how it works yet. Because that is going to cause controversy.
I feel the same way about Overwatch League too, because they jumped into the esports thing real heavy and tried to force it, which they're working it a little bit. I mean, I can also see Overwatch League bubble bursting at some point. But if you just need to keep them separate if you want to create. You can create multiple markets for your competition, your console competitions and your PC competitions and whatnot.
But then you have to
because then everybody's fighting on fair ground.
You're correct. You're correct, but technically we said the same thing when crossplay became a thing between PC and consoles. Everybody's going to get wrecked if they're on a console.
Casuals is perfectly fine. I have no problem. Casual League play, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to bring a professional side to this, you need to make it, which is why I don't like BR esports anyway.
Which I would also argue the reason that most of the people, except for this kid, is playing on keyboard and mouse is because of the professional side of that. The more competitive players are always going to play on that.
Yeah, and that's why I said give them a whole league to their own. You could have multiple leagues. It's perfectly justifiable.
Well,
Epic
especially with a game
money.
As big as Fortnite.
Exactly. I mean, plus, okay, you got 99 players who play with mouse and keyboard and one that plays with the mouse. Or one that plays with the controller. Why not get 99 players or 100 players that play with the controller and 100 players that play with mouse and keyboard and let them see who's the best on each of their sides? Because if you put them together, you have to give a crutch or give them a tool or something, and then that's just not fair already in an unfair environment. BRs are not fair. So, I mean, it's just, I don't like esport BRs. I don't like esport BRs when you give a side a huge advantage just because they're at a disadvantage. I think Epic is really going about this wrong, in my opinion. It's pretty awful. BR esports are awful, and I don't foresee them staying around.
Well, I don't understand it from a Fortnite standpoint anyway, because there's no point system. At least with PUBG, we know there's a point system. The longer you last, the more points you get, the more kills you get, the more points you get. So at least there's a point system built into it. Apex is the same way. You got a point system built into it. The only thing I don't like about Apex is the fact you got 3-man crew, and for some reason they have ranked. You're dependent upon. You got to have a team, right? So it's like, I don't understand. Like, I like BRs, but I don't disagree. Like, I think there needs to be another way of making that competitive, and Fortnite just doesn't seem like a competitive element to me. In
Fortnite,
any way.
They're trying to capitalize on the popularity of it because it's really popular. They can make it an esports thing because it's already got a huge audience. It's just that they haven't really nailed down how to do that properly yet, in my opinion.
BRs
but then again, it's Epic, and they haven't
esports.
figured out how to do anything properly.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm just going to keep preaching it forever, is BRs do not make good esports. There's too much RNG in it to really get a good feeling of what everybody's skill level is.
Yeah, they make good streaming material.
Yeah,
that's what it's
absolutely.
for.
Good games and good streaming material.
And I think that's what it is. They think because it's a streaming material, they think that automatically goes into competitive, and it's like you can't capitalize off the popularity. You create something based on that popularity.
Dude, I can't wait for Halo to come back out because I think you can definitely have esports with that. And it can be based on individual skill.
Well, we did. I mean, MLG was created off of that.
Exactly. But then the popularity waned because you had Call of Duty rise up, and then beyond Call of Duty, you had everything else that came after it rise up. And so now we've got this place where it's like it's easy for things like that to really slip back in if it's popular enough, and I think Halo can do it.
I think Halo is the shooter that people are missing these days. It is a pure basic. Everybody starts with the same weapon, same position on both sides, and then you rush the map as fast as you can to try to outplay each other.
So you know where the power weapons are. Like Valhalla, you know there's a Spartan laser in the middle, but you also know there are vehicles on both sides. So, I mean, you know what you've got to work with and what you need to do to get the things you want. It's going to be based on skill as to who gets to take those.
Yes, absolutely. Like Halo competitive, like I'd be down to watch that shit. Like being able to watch it from overhead and watch everybody's strategy and
especially
actual
now
skill
with color
kind of take
commentary.
over.
Oh man, I'd love to hear some Halo color commentary.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes.
That, and you can have like now it's gotten to the point like you've got. I think Grif, you even own one of the Overwatch League shirts.
Yeah.
Like the.
I have a pair of Overwatch League pants that I'm not wearing today, but I am wearing Overwatch pants too. So.
Yeah. So, I think but from a Halo standpoint, I think it'd be cool too to follow those. But I would almost want them to do like like Halo themed team names
Oh,
in some way or another, right?
Give me a Halo League, man. I fucking love to watch teams play like Overwatch League does. Shit, I'd be down to watch that.
I bet.
Well, and you could set it up because you could have like a Team Slayer. It's perfect because you got Team Slayer, you got the solo mode where you've got everybody the free for all. Yep. You've got Big Team Battle where you can do an actual.
Big Team Slayer.
And some of those have objectives. I mean, like there's Capture the Flag and King of the Hill modes and things like that. I mean, you could even narrow it down if you wanted to do professional level duos. Duo queue would be so fun to watch. 2-on-2, just going,
So thinking about it, people are excited for WoW Classic because it's going back to the simpler times. People are excited for Halo because it's going back to the simpler times. The games these days have just gotten so complicated and convoluted with so many fucking bells and whistles that
sometimes it's nice to go back.
Yeah, it's nice to play the simple game where it's just you relying on your skill, not your loadout, not what weapons you pick up, not your teammates. It's just you.
But I think that's one of the downsides is because the first one that comes out for the Halo series on PC is going to be Reach, and it does have loadouts. So people are going to like that, but then once you get past Reach, it goes back to your standard stuff.
But I think the loadout's different, and I'll explain that is because with Reach you have a limited amount of weapons.
It's very limited.
You have a limited amount of abilities, all that, and everyone has that option.
Well, that's
where true. with Call of Duty and Destiny and all these others, it's something that you've unlocked in the game somewhere and been able to bring it over.
Upgrade your weapons and all this different shit.
Everybody who
mods,
decides
perks.
to start with a DMR in Reach will start with the same one. There is no upgraded one. Yes,
exactly.
I agree with you on that. I just think that having the loadouts for the powers is what makes it a little wonky.
I think it'll be okay, but everybody who's like played Halo will be fine with the transition into the Halo 1, 2, and 3 and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like 1, 2, and 3. Especially 3. Since
that would be fun to do the invincibility shield thing again when people try to run you over.
People hate that so much.
Throw a sticky bomb, do the invincibility shield. Ha ha ha.
I ran decoy. That was the one that I had because I would end up like in a corner somewhere, so I'd throw my decoy out and be like, "Look over there."
I love that.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
One too. Like sprinting is a fucking mod. Oh god! Back in the day when you could only just jog.
That invincibility thing too was a good one because if you could time it, like if you saw somebody throw a sticky nade at you, it was reflective, so you put it on really fast and then the nade bounces back at them. You're like, sorry.
I've done that one to people too.
That one's probably the most popular one for that reason. I just like my decoy.
I took it because I got tired of being ran over for a good time.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that though. I think Halo would make a much better pro scene than something like Fortnite or PUBG because it is going to be a more even playing field, and that's a lot more interesting to watch from a spectator standpoint instead of that guy ran and got the power weapon. There's only one on the map and he was uncontested when he got it, and now he just built a fort around himself.
Well, I like the respawn availability. That's what makes it because if you're in duos and one person goes down in Fortnite, well, one person's just standing there having to fight off everybody else. Where you have that respawn availability when you're dealing with Halo and other older games like that.
And stuff.
Oh yeah, because you're just constantly playing, and it just makes so much more sense. I have a feeling. I do have a feeling that with Halo Infinite, we're going to probably end up with a BR attached to that. But I think hopefully 343 and Microsoft is smart enough to go, this is just an added element, but we're still us. We still have our multiplayer the way it's supposed to be, but we got to have a BR because nowadays people want a BR, so we're going to create a really good BR for it too. But if you think about it, theoretically with Halo Infinite, you could end up with an entire campaign, whether you care for the campaigns or not. You got the entire campaign, and then you basically end up with Black Ops, the latest Black Ops, and you're paying the same price you would for Black Ops 4 for the entire Halo, which is like, come on. I mean, it's just they have got so much potential to be able to build this up, starting with Reach, build this up, create nice competitive ability. And you could think of the leagues. Like, you turn around and you go, oh man, Halo League's going on right now, and it's this week's it's Reach. Like, you just do Reach, and then you have Halo 1, Halo 2, whatever. Or you could almost do the old movie The Wizard with Fred Savage in it, where Super Mario 3 ended up being the very last thing that they had to play. They were supposed to be really good with Super Mario, but then they like released Super Mario 3 to the world, and you had to play through that for the first time. So it'd be cool to be like, and here's the final. Here's a brand new map y'all have never seen. You know? And just throw it out there.
But I think that if you get to something like... Because Halo Reach does have a couple of different weapons and things work a little differently in that one, but like 1, 2, and 3 you could definitely make those interchangeable because it all plays the same way. It's just how the maps are laid out.
Yeah, let's see that.
And I mean, aside from the fact that the pistol scopes in one,
it's awesome.
And you could dual wield needlers.
Pistols for the life.
Dual wield needler.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That shit was broken.
Savage.
Broken. Okay, the pistols, the lockdown rocket launchers, and the dual needlers.
Yes, the heat-seeking rocket launchers. I forgot about those too. Oh man.
But it was so fun.
The needler is my favorite
So
thing.
fun.
Because everybody's like, look at that stupid girly weapon because it's pink and purple, and then you're like, oh yeah? And then they're like, I didn't hurt, and then they explode, and you're like, so... Afterlife, dude, tell me in your ghost form how that felt.
I would love to see what kind of meta weapons like start
Needlers,
up.
Please.
Well, I don't know if needlers would like. I don't know.
No, probably not. But I would want them.
I would assume snipers would definitely be in meta. Shotguns would definitely be in meta.
You know, Shoddy Snipes should be its own friggin'
man,
that should definitely get pro play. Shoddy Snipes.
Holy
please.
shit! Like, you get to choose your game mode, and then you get to choose the game mode, and then the other team gets to choose the map.
Oh my god. That would be so awesome.
Fun. Yeah, it would, because then you have the advantage of what game mode you want to play, what weapons you want to play with, or what kind of game mode, and then they have to choose the map.
Snipes, and they're like, all right.
And it's a blind decision.
Oh, yes.
Because now you're going, which way do you think they're going to go? For this, or which way you think you go for this?
That right there would make coaches so much. All right, so these guys tend to play a lot of shoddy snipes, but they have been shown to play team DMRs too. So we got to make sure that we choose which map would be best for these two game modes, and then they choose something out of the fucking blue. It's like fucking zombie mode or some shit like that.
I'm looking forward to getting to Halo 3 because there's one game type in Halo 3 that I can carry Chicken in. It's the only time that will ever happen because he is terrible at SWAT, but I'm good at it.
Apparently. And by the way, I have screenshots of me hitting people in the head with all 3 bullets, and it doesn't kill them, and I get hit in the head by 1 bullet, and the 2 other ones pass by me, and I die instantly. I hate that game mode.
You can get my backpack for that one.
Fuck that, I'm just going to sit in the back.
The dual
just give me a hammer and let me duck walk.
Well, that's
the dual needlers. The dual needlers y'all were talking about earlier, all I can think of is how many times it was somebody's hit you with something, you die, you've hit them with the needler, and then afterwards you get the little achievement for
Kill from the Grave.
Kill from the Grave. Yeah. That was
I got that a lot because I was a sticky nade fanatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
so when it came to me, it would just miss me.
I see you! I throw it! I see you!
Well, that was my I'm gonna die fear tactic. It's like, I'm about to die. They're close enough that it should get them. And it worked a lot.
There's nothing better than like watching someone run at you with a shotgun and you're like, okay, I might as well do this, and you just run at them and you just stick it right at the end of their gun and you die instantly and you're like, ha ha, boom, ha ha. Sometimes you didn't even fight it either. You're just like, fuck it, I'll just run into this dude and get him with a sticky nade.
I want to see, since everybody's gotten into like showing off, you see it a lot in Overwatch with Widow where they'll launch themselves up with the tether and then snipe. I want to see how fancy people can get launching themselves off of the grab lifts and trying to snipe people. Man. I want to see some fancy things.
Oh, I'm sure you would. Like, pro players can, like, you leave it to pros to find out the best way and the most interesting way to kill their opponents, the most efficient.
You think we can bring back the phrase 360 no scope?
Oh man, I would love it. Boom, bop, And then they get out of the chair like, oh, what now, bitch? And then they get fined.
They get out of the chair and start screaming, but then they realize that it's Team Slayer and that wasn't the last point. Oh,
that'd be
man.
hilarious. Oh my god.
For-
It'd be good though.
For all you childrens who are listening to the podcast who have never played any of the Halo stuff online because it was past your time.
You better be prepared to fucking
Oh,
get your
man.
ass whooped.
It's
You can
so
still
fun.
play it. Go get the Master Chief collection and go play it.
It's
still
sometimes hard to get matches. We waited for a while.
Hell yeah. When it comes to PC, I guarantee the
But
community
if we
is gonna
tell
go,
everybody to do it, then maybe you get a match.
yeah, all
go.
6 of them.
That's all it takes, man. There's 2 more we just gotta have to count on to get there.
That would be fun. I wish Baka still had it, or knew where his copy was at so that we could play it. Baka's Halo is packed away somewhere, though. Damn it, Baka.
Yeah. And you need to go searching through the games and the storage thing.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Too funny.
Well, what else we got? I got some Red Dead to get to, I guess, since that was all of the
that was
news.
it.
Now
Yeah,
I'm in a
that's
good
it.
mood. We talked about Halo. It was amazing. Feels good, man.
It's all it takes.
Now that
All
we've
it
talked
takes.
about, future space marines, I'm going to go back in time to the old Wild West and ride a horse. I actually have a plan.
Gritty old space marine. Or I guess horse marine. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not so
Earth,
sure.
Earth marine. I don't know.
I have a plan. I saw somebody post where there was this big treasure thing, and then I saw somebody else mention that it was part of a pirate treasure, and I'm going to go look for stuff. So I have plans for my Red Dead stuff. Put that story on hold for a second. I know we're dealing with some stuff. Gonna put a pin in that while I go look for some treasure.
Yay, treasure. Nothing like a good treasure.
Especially since part of it is pirate treasure.
Pirates? Did you say pirates?
There's supposed to be a pirate skeleton under a bridge somewhere, and I need to know, I'm gonna have to go figure out where this is at, and I hope that it's not in the alligator water that I think it's in, because alligators.
Alligator water.
It will be.
Anything else from anybody? Anybody?
Anyone?
You know how words
Anybody?
work? You got this?
No, I don't. Forget words. Words are horrible. That's not true. Says the guy at a podcast. We're good. We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at Infinite Res PC. Check me out personally at MDB Oak Tree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slanum?
Check out Chicken.
I'd elite chicken through and through.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Grif's YouTube channel where she's currently playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. And if we could just record me saying that, because I'm pretty sure for the next 5 years it's going to be the same thing.
It depends on how often I get distracted by treasure.
There you go.
Arthur
Do
needs
that.
money, man. I can't help it.
There you go. It's too funny. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313. Chicken, what you got this week, bud?
Overwatch.
The last week of the
Overwatch.
Overwatch event.
More loot
Is it
boxes.
last week? Yep, it
Yeah.
is the last week of it. Yep.
Last week of it. So y'all make sure you get your Overwatch time in for your end of your event. Awesome. Also, make sure you go to mixer.com words /MDV Oak Tree, where you can follow me on there. I am hopefully starting back this week, literally when we get done with this, and I have sent the stuff to the Dropbox for Grif to be able to edit everything together. I am tearing this entire system down and moving it out of this room. So, yay! So no gaming for a while. But I'm going to rip up the carpet, paint the stuff behind here, and once I get all that set up, then I'm putting everything back up, and that's going to be fun. So, but hope everybody has a great week, and for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm chicken.
Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.